Hey, 7K World team. Well, okay, we're the prefaces of big, huge momentum for about 15 years in a row. And I want all of you to understand how you can be successful. Why everyone can succeed. And I'm going to tell you how today. Every one of you on this training, every one of you that hears these words, you can be successful at 7K. And only you limit yourself from doing it. And we're going to talk about different categories of people today. We're going to talk about the younger people, the people maybe going to college, just finished college. You know, I call it maybe the under 28 group. Okay. Uh, and we're going to talk about the people, from about 28 to uh, in their 40s, 45 or so. And we're going to talk about the group from 45 to 60, and then we're going to talk about 60 plus group. Okay. It's important to understand these demographics. Demographics is what controls all businesses. And so I'm going to teach you how to think like big business, even though you may have never run a business. Because, see, when you join this, and you have a partner that joins you, you are actually joining a huge business. Uh, when you do that $4.99, that's $499 to operate a business. That's what you have with all the websites, all the tools. You're getting that for just $499. You've got to become very good at communicating that principle to whomever you're talking to. It doesn't matter. Now, if that means the very first time that you're presenting them 7K, and that means throughout your follow-up periods for the people you have contacted, made a presentation to. In other words, they've at least seen the wealth strategies video. Until the person's seen the wealth strategies video, you haven't made a presentation to them. You're just in. I'm trying to get their interest. Period. Okay. And uh, the the number of presentations you make is what's important. And so what what I want you to understand of why I say everyone can succeed. Every one of you can succeed at this. But how do we do it? Okay. First, you've got to get yourself into that one mindset of I can succeed. Bob tells me I can succeed. I can succeed. Okay, but what do you got to do? You got to put that time into it. You got to treat it like a real job. You got to put that 10 hours in minimum a week for 2 years. And that's you get to learn while you earn, but you got to do specifically the things that I teach you in my system and in my job description. Those 5 points. That's what you got to do. And I'm going to tell you, be honest with you, that first 2 years, you're going to be buying coins. You're going to be supporting your business. You're going to be putting people in your pipeline. And you're going to be learning. You're going to be learning the skills, attitudes, and techniques. You're going to be watching a video at least 5 out of 7 days of mine, not the company's, mine. And they're all right there on the band app for you. And for people who are not in my team that get to hear this, that just go to my YouTube site because the band apps for specific teams put together and grouped together, and it's not for other people and other teams to be on that team. And that's just the way I run uh, our business and our group and have people duplicate. And there's reasons for that. So if you're You're hearing this video and you have different uplines and you want to follow my techniques, you can only get it on YouTube. Okay. And then you can do the same thing for your group. So everyone can do this. And why is everyone can do it? And I don't care how many times you've tried, let's say, multi-level marketing or network marketing companies in the past and you failed at them. It's because you never really had the right opportunity at the right time with the right person. That's the reason. You have it now, today. You got the right company, the right marketplace, the right timing, and the right people. And so you can succeed. Only you stop yourself from succeeding. So let me tell you why, okay? And how to look at this and why to understand it this way. You got to treat that $499 that you put to start your premium membership, I call it the business membership, because that's what it is. As $499,000 you just spent on running your own independent franchise business, and that's what you have in your hands. But you got to treat it as if you spent that, and you don't just make profit right off the bat. So discouragement is just not allowed in that first 2 years. And comparing yourself with someone else is not allowed in that first 2 years. But I do want you to set goals. Now, I'm going to teach you to set goals in this business that are achievable. And then you reset another goal. Every time you achieve your goal, you reset another goal. So the first goal everyone in here as a member should start is becoming an associate, number one, and then making your first $500 check. Now, you might make some $250 checks on the way, but it's making your first $500 check. That's a goal. Now, once you achieve that goal, you set a new goal. You're going to become a copper. And how do you become a copper? Well, you already know how to become an associate. You're going to find a partner on your left and a partner on your right, willing to commit to the same commitment level that you're doing, putting that 2 years of learning in. You get to earn while you learn, and you get 1099 tax benefits in the process. And you become a copper. Now that enables you to make $1,000 check a week. But it doesn't mean you're going to get $1,000 until you have the volume, until your team grows, and it takes time for a team to grow. Yes, some people do it quicker, but we're talking about you. We're talking about anybody else. We're talking about you, your circumstances, your background, your history, your beliefs, your circle of influence, your situation in life. You become a copper, then your next goal is, I'm going to make $1,000 in a week. When you achieve that, or you're getting close to it and you're making multiple $500 checks, maybe not per week, but multiple, and you're getting carryover points because you have leadership, or you're building up that loyalty bank because you didn't get paid on those dollars between 500 and 1,000, and they went over and cashed into that loyalty bank. And because you kept your business open, you bought your autosaver every single month, meaning that's that commitment level. You're committing to $499 to run your business and build a business if you've never had a business before, or build another business in addition to your other businesses. So see, I'm talking to everybody here. And you commit for 2 years to buying your autosaver. Period. It's just automatic. You treat it like an electricity bill. And if you don't pay it, they're going to shut off your electricity. Well, what you just did is you shut down your business. So you can't make money if you shut down your business. So now, after you become a copper, you made your $1,000 check, what do you want to do? You want to be a bronze. How do you do that? Well, you know how to be a copper. You just became one. You help the person on your left and right that you teamed up with. And if they quit, you just got to find another one. Quitters never win, but you got to resolve that you're not a quitter. You're not going to drop out of school. You're just in school. Millionaires 101 class, taught by Bob Reid. That's what you are in. And if you want to learn, learn. I give you the easiest way in the world to learn, through videos. And repetition. See, this is a business of duplication and repetition. It's not a complicated business. It's a very simple business. But you got to learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques it takes, and they're learnable. Anyone can learn them if you desire to, and if you put an effort. So, see, it's the old Jim Rohn thing that Richard Wayne Henson and I talk about all the time. Same mentor, Jim Rohn. It's those three qualities. Those three qualities. You got to have a burning desire. You got to have a desire to succeed and do this. It's got to come from here, from you, inside. You got to be willing to work. So you got to be willing to put the time in to learn and earn and build and help other people do the same thing. That's all. The same thing that you are learning and doing, you're going to help somebody else. And three, sometimes, sometimes you think one is more important than the other than these three, but they're not. You got to be teachable and coachable. See, because if you've never done this before successfully, then you want to learn from those who what? Are masters at it. And I give you all my training for free. I don't even charge you for it. Nobody else charges for theirs. Those three qualities are all it takes. A burning desire, a willingness to work, and to be teachable and coachable. So let's talk about the groups. Now, obviously, I know you can set your goal from bronze to silver, silver to gold, and gold to executive goal, and executive goal to presidential goal, because every one of you can become presidential. You might not do it in that 3 to 5 years after the 2 years of learning. It may take you 10 years, or it may take you 12, it may take you 15, but the company's going to be here. So it's a matter, where else in your life time? Could you have an opportunity to start a business for $499, operate your business, your operating expenses is $125 a month, and you're going to get something of value, real value for that 120. It's not an expense. So that's $1,500 a year, and that includes your the shipping to you. Okay, that's getting the American Eagle coin or the uh, 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 the gold notes. Uh, and so we got four products of choice to what we want to do is our operating costs. So you're doing that and you got something of value in your hand. It's not just an expense, and you're getting those 1099 tax benefits. And just about everybody gets them in these categories that I just separated in the beginning in demographics, and that's what we're going to switch to. Because, see, once you understand what we just went over between me and you, and this is me to you individually, even if you're new, you just came in with someone that's in our team, and now you're hearing this for your first time too. You can succeed. You will succeed if you just follow the program. You follow the recipe. So let's talk about when we talk to these different demographics, kind of how we have that conversation with them. Once we present the information, the way I teach you, the way I teach you in a way that, in a way, the company has some very good, what I call base training, and that's evolved too. But, and many of the people in my group know what I mean by that. But uh, it's just learning how to use the tools to pique interest and to do things like that. And uh, it's making those exposures. It's having that initial list of 100. It's just presenting the plan until you present the plan enough times that you have the success rate you want to have, and you're going to have more failure than you're going to have success. That's the whole key. It's like, batting average. Uh, even the best of the best of baseball players. I mean, over 300 average is fabulous, but that means they fail 2/3 of the time. They either strike out or hit a fly ball or a grounder and get put out. That's the key. It's not having 100% success. So don't set your expectations so high. But are you doing what it takes every day, that little bit of time every day, to advance your business? Doing those IPAs, even in that first 2 years, because you're building up a huge pipeline that you're going to be able to succeed with. The let's take that under 28 group, okay? At from high school to 28. What are they doing in their life that they can become a part of, and treat it like it's a little, you know, secondary course, an extra course in college? And so every time I talk to someone in that category or just finished college, I say, how much did it cost you per year to go to college? What was your tuition fee? And, your tuition is not cheap these days. And, let's say they're at Louisiana State or one of those state university in your different states or wherever, uh, but it's state supported, and so it's the least expensive in the state if you're an in-state student. Okay, and let's say their tuition, just their tuition, $6,000 a year. Okay, And I say, okay, you spend 6,000. Or are they paying you anything while you learn? No. Hmm. Well, let's say they're just going to a community college to learn a trade on a 2-year associate degree. Okay, so that's when I really like to compare. But the other degrees is just adding a course. This is adding a course to what they're doing. And they're doing it at such a young age that they can be part of a team that's growing and multiplying, that in 3 to 5 years after completing this basic millionaires 101, buy a master in the industry, so you're the one prospecting them. And it's the same program you're following, and they have a chance to develop an income and just show them the little step ladder: associate 500, copper 1,000, bronze 2,000 a week. If it took them 5 years to get to 2,000 a week, that's side income. That's a side hustle. That's something they're building on the side while they're pursuing their endeavor, whatever they are, mechanical engineer, architect, doctor, nurse, whatever. That's on the side. And why? They're building a retirement program that they're in control of. See, that's the added factor with the autosaver. They're really putting that autosaver into, instead of taking 10 or 15% of what they make and put it in some stupid 401k or IRA that they have no control over and they know nothing about. And if they look at those that came before them who are trying to retire, and now if the stock market goes bust like it's going to, what are they going to retire on? What are they going to retire on? Just like the ones that were trying to retire back in 2008. They were trying to retire from 2005 to 2008, or they did retire in the 5 years before that, and they had all their money there, and 2008 happened. That's why a lot of them had to go back to work. See, this is what we're offering to people. But we can't make them do it. We can lead that horse to water, but we can't make them do it. But you can plant those seeds that you can come back to them each time. That's what we mean by in the pipeline. Okay? That's that group. You got to compare it to them going to school, with them paying tuitions. So this is it. $500 is their tuition a year. Their expenses, they had to buy books, they had to buy supplies, they had to do things, they had expenses just to go to class. Okay? Well, their expenses is that $125 a month, but they're getting some value that really is their future retirement program, but they don't know about it yet. But they're going to learn in this 2 years what that is. And that's where we have to be able to show them a couple of stack and sell examples, and you got to use some. And I provided them for you with Armina and Woodrow, and then you have your own. Okay, so you can provide other people's success and what they've done, and that's what's available to them. So you got to get good. See, that's what you need to learn how to do. And you can only learn how to do it by doing it and failing. But you will succeed sometimes. And that's all we want you to succeed. Sometimes. Over this 2-year period, we want to get your numbers where you're succeeding 10 to 20% of the time. So if you're presenting to 100 times, you get 10. Okay, that's 10% or 20%. That's even better. And you'll get better. You'll get to the 80-20 rule in time. in time, patience. Well, if you got 20 people after 2 years that you personally are bringing into the company, 10 on the left, 10 on the right, after that 2 year period, you got at least one on your left and one on your right in that 2 year period. That's all we're looking for in that 2 year period. You got one on your left and one on your right that'll work with you, commit with you. You may have brought in other buyers, you may have brought in a couple of other people, and that fizzled out or whatever. You can't concern yourself with them. We can come back to them later, and I got trainings on how to do that. But first, you got to worry about you building your initial team, one on the left, one on the right. It may take longer sometimes. You may get one on one side, but you don't have one on that other, or it keeps rotating out. But that's okay. Let's go over the numbers now for this first group. Now, the numbers are going to be the same for every group. 499 start their business, 125 a month, that's $1,500 a year. So $2,000, they get to start a business and they get 1099 tax benefits. Most of that $2,000 is going to be recouped from taxes that they would be paying. So if they got a job, or if they're paying taxes, then they get the extra deduction of converting personal expenses to business expenses. So it's not even going to cost them $2,000. And in fact, that 1,500, you have to say, okay, half of it I know I got. So that $750 really, it's sitting in their hands. That's that autosaver every month. But you and I, we all know it's worth a lot more. That's why we tell them about the stack advantage, the stack and sell, and what we've done by accumulating, and our products gain value with time. That's the offensive portion of diversification in precious metals. The bullion is the safety. It's the security. It's holding it there instead of cash or paper. Okay, so that's what we do. Are we going to catch a ton of students? No, they're into having fun. Even the young ones afterward, they're still into partying and having fun, and that youthful part of life, the irresponsible part of life. Y'all, we all remember it, right? Okay, but you will find those few, and then you give them the examples of the Brooks Stelly, of the Joey Zerniak, and that there are others, and we're going to have others starting to be surfacing that we can use other examples of. But it's just, do they want to be part of something big? Now, what are they part of? This is where understanding and how to communicate that big picture is important. And it's most important in each one of these four demographic areas that I talk about. What is 7K? 7K is a new animal in this space. It's a new version. It's a 22nd century marketing concept. And so I like to give the analogy, and I've been doing it for years, and a company picks up on, they're doing it too now. But here's what I likened years ago is to Amazon. 7K is to the gold and silver market, which I've been a part of for over 35 years, as Amazon was to the retail market. Amazon came in with a concept. We're going to provide online discounts, books, instead of the brick and mortar style. We're going to be able to give them to them at a better price and more convenient. That was the whole concept of Amazon in the beginning. But then it broadened and said, well, if we can do it with books, we can do it with anything. We just need to create a distribution system in addition to the technology system. So here, Amazon's growing, growing, growing. And you know, Amazon paid referral fees to increase the membership of Amazon. People didn't know that. They did. So did Netflix. So companies that are membership models like Amazon, Hulu, Spotify, Netflix, Sam's, Costco. Now there's many others, but let's just take these prime. And I hone in on Amazon and Costco because they had a referral compensation plan to help build the membership. Well, here's the 4 co-founders of 7K Metals back in 2016 said people need to own gold and silver, but they don't know much about it. We're going to create a membership model, much like Amazon, like Costco, like Sam's, like Spotify, like Netflix. We're going to create a membership model so they can get affordable gold and silver for the first time in their life. We're going to be like, you see, when you go to Costco and you become a member of Costco or Sam's or even Amazon, you're not guaranteed the lowest price. You're just guaranteed a very good price and a company that will stand behind the quality of their products for their customers. And they give you a way to get something back. And they want satisfied customers to tell other satisfied customers about it so they can increase their membership. And it's an annual membership basis. And I tell people all the time, just, Google the total worldwide memberships of Costco. And it keeps going up every year, by the way. And right now, if you do it, I think you're going to get about 116.7 million members. Well, unlike Costco, 7K, and that's why I tell everybody up front, we're not a multi-level marketing company. We're a member direct marketing company like Costco, like Sam's, like Amazon, like Spotify, like Hulu, like Netflix. That's what we are. Except this company, the co-founders want to give more back to its members, make the members and the company be like kind of one another business. They're going to share more of those membership fees back to the people who help build the membership base of the company. It's just that simple. It's not a complicated process. So they have a unique referral compensation plan that's integrated into this if you want to participate. But like Costco, there's 2 memberships. We have 2 memberships. And so you have the buyer. If a person can just get all these wonderful benefits, many of the benefits pay for the membership. And one of the main ones of being able to buy bullion at dealer cost. No minimums, no maximum. They can buy 1 ounce. They get the same as a person buying 1,000 ounces. That's unique. Then they get the Sound Money wallet. We're the only one with it. And the private vaulting. There's so many advantages that you got to get. You need to learn how to talk about that wheel of benefits. Or you need to use tools by others, leaders that are presenting them, use those tools to help you explain those wheel of benefits. But that's just the benefits of membership. That's at $199. And it pays for itself too. But that $4.99 more than pays for it, because we get to participate in this fabulous residual type of income program. So what could you do in the next 5 years that you could spend $499 a year having a business with a recipe model that you just follow the recipe and you can accumulate wealth in the same time using 1099 tax benefits in the process, earning extra income while you're developing a residual income for the future. What gives you that opportunity? You need to learn how to ask that question after presenting this model. And if they can't give you an answer, say, well, here, that's what I'm trying to provide with you. I want you to partner up with me. I want you to be able to have. What if you were part of Amazon 30 years ago and you kind of developed and went along and grew with them? What do you think that would have been? And you'd have put that 10 hours a week into Amazon. What about 30 years ago with Costco? With their very first store. And you were part of the Costco organization. You were part of see, we're all part of the 7K organization because they merged us in with them. It's a very unique concept. So if you looked up those memberships with Costco, you're going to multiply them by $100. Let's make math easy. That's 11 billion plus per year Costco receives on membership fees. What do you get? Card. You get to go in the store, or you get to shop online in your cyberspace Costco. When you're a member of 7K, you get a cyberspace store. Now you can go to the store, but they only have one. Right now it's in Idaho Falls, but they're going to have stores elsewhere in the future. Believe me. This company is just young. It's not even 6 years old yet. And so you can go to the store, but it's in Idaho Falls, Idaho. That's the only one that's there. But it's easier to go to the cyberspace store, kind of like the Amazon model. Makes it easy. Okay. And so you can buy for yourself. Other people can do the same thing. And you get all those benefits, and you can earn an income. Well, you got your cyberspace business, so you're in an internet home-based business at $499 a year. But they're going to give you and me back a lot of those memberships by creating that membership base for the company. And that is the most effective means of it. See, they're not like all those other companies that you see advertising millions of bucks on the TV that are inefficient and ineffective, and they actually take advantage of people. Oh yeah, that's why a lot of people don't have gold and silver. People don't know, but see, 7K is filling that educational void because we're teaching people what they were never taught about gold and silver, and they should have been taught all these years, but they were not taught that on purpose. And I wasn't taught it either. I had to learn it on my own. But now 7K is that vehicle to teach. And we're the educators. We're the ones helping educate our neighbors, our friends, our relatives. Do they want to hear it? I didn't say they want to hear it. I said, but eventually we'll break those barriers and they'll hear what we have to say, either by you modeling it to them. And that's why it's important for you to be here for 2 years, because you're their model. When they hear it from you and say no, they're looking at you. They're watching you. And you quit, well, you just had a fling. Yeah, you just had an emotional decision and didn't think about it. You take people off track when you quit. There's no reason to quit. None at all, ever. Because you can only succeed if you keep trying. Because see, a team's going to be built on one side anyway. And if you're buying your coin every month, you're going to have points posted to you. And so you're going to get to earn silver products in your loyalty program. So let's kind of talk about that working group, that 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 group that's we're talking about from 28 to like 45. They're involved in career building and family building. And so they look at this as a burden to them, okay? And so what you've got to really find that fine point in with that demographic group is it is more like that savings program. It's that they're already starting to put away some each month in an ESOP or an IRA or 401k or whatever. They're already doing that. Say, hey, this is one you need to add to that base. And what's going to happen is a business is going to be built through you that you could have never been built before, because that's what I'm doing. I'm committed to this, and you're just going to be here in that. And you got to be able to show them where they're going to be and what that looks like. That they'll have all these people that in your team that you're building, and if they're buying their autosaver for their retirement as an augmentation to what they're doing, as a diversification to what they're doing, then they too get the benefit in the future if they so desire to. So let me show you what I mean real quick, because we're in that second group, and everybody understand this one. Now, when I talk about showing those stair steps, okay, uh, I that's what I'm talking about. That stair step right there, showing those things to people. But what I'm talking about right now is this right here, okay? And it's them right there. That's what they would be, and you are building this group through them and underneath them, and they're going to have all these points accumulate, and points are dollars. That's all you need to do. You don't try to get too detailed, because if they don't catch it too quick, you want to plant this seed. That's the seed you want to plant. That's a seed you want to leave with them that you get to follow back up with them on. You get to show them what your stack and sell is doing for you. They get to see what their stack and sell is doing, and then they get to see their dashboard. They get to see all these points accumulate, and they got 0 and 0 in terms of personal sponsors. But we'll get them to the point where it becomes a no-brainer to get a family business pack and get paid, and it didn't cost them anything. Whoa! If you don't understand what I just said there, so you got to go to that training, because we'll get them to that point, and it'd be in less than 2 years, and they will get that $500 check. They will be an associate. They will have their spouse or their daughter or their son or their aunt or their uncle or their brother on one side and the other one on the other side. Even if they paid for their trial membership for them, a trial, and then that's a tax deduction, and then they come out ahead. Pretty powerful. Okay, so we got to get good at that. And so while I'm here, I'm going to go right back to what anyone must do. This job description I keep talking about. See, those 7 pieces of paper are the easiest duplicatable things that there is. And it all starts with, you're looking for 2 people to make this commitment with you, one on your left and one on your right. And you make sure that you read this with everyone. You make sure everybody you sponsor, it doesn't matter if they're a buyer or they're a try to be member, a builder. You want to make sure that they got these and that you went through this with them very briefly these 7 pieces of paper. This is the important thing for this group. The ones that we're bringing in and they're getting them on the autosaver and it's a long-term thing, they don't have that. They just absolutely refuse to admit that they can get a little time in to watch some videos to build a residual income. They absolutely refuse to do that. But they're buying an autosaver. That's all you need. Okay. But you get to then come and show them later how this can work with them as they've been in after that 2 years, they get to see things develop. Then you get to show them. So see, this is a business. It is a follow-up business. It is one looking into your downline explorer. It's understanding how you follow up with people even in your business without being a pest, but giving great information. And so then everybody can see later that they can have that same success just about everybody from any walk of life did in an old multi-level or old network marketing, whereas this is the 22nd century model. Become part of it. Become part of that billion-dollar growing company that's going to expand around the globe and is already established in the major financial sectors of the globe in the UK, Canada, US, Singapore. That's where we need to be in gold and silver. And so that's why you'll see that these 7 pieces of paper with attitude and belief are so important to communicating and establishing in your group, person to person, until everybody really understands those 7 pieces of paper. They don't understand the magnitude of the business and what can be done with it. It is pretty simple. It's just doing it. See, it's just doing it. There's the key. Goes back to those 3 factors of Jim Rohn. A burning desire, a willingness to work and commit to it, and being teachable and coachable. Okay, so I hit that working demographic there for you. Let's go to that 45 to about 60 group. They're really approaching retirement. They've already experienced maybe some ups and downs in the stock market. They already realize that there's a lot of risk for them to be able to continue living like they're living, and maybe they aren't all. They've done a long way to getting out of debt. That's the area you appeal to, that demographic group. That's where you want to focus to solve their problem they're experiencing in life, even if they don't admit it. And so what we're going to do there is we're going to focus on that side business, that side thing. That's where I was in my life when I was looking to buy a franchise. And then network marketing came and hit me at the time before I made a $300,000 loan. Whoa, I'm so glad network marketing came into my life. And I didn't go on, put myself in hot for $300,000 and buy a franchise that I would have been stuck with. And I probably would have never had the time with my family. I would have been jumping from the frying pan into the fire. Here, look how we can leverage small amounts of money to build a multi-million-dollar business. I mean, 10 grand a month, if that's possible in the next 10 years before they retire, that's in addition to what they've been planning for and working for all those years. What if it's just an extra 5 grand? What if they only become an associate and get $500 extra and grow with the fastest growing company that's around, and gold and silver, and its products are gold and silver? It's not lotion, potions, pills, nasty tasting juices, hair growing stuff, or wrinkle gold ray creams. It's not something with an expiration date. It's a product of value. So see, this is where you need to concentrate. Focus on your communication point to this group. The retired group, or the people really getting that's an over 60, plus 60 group. Okay? But you got to focus in on what's going to give them those extra finances and security for those remain, and something good to do, something to be part of again, something to get active in, something to be around younger dynamic people, everybody pursuing a course of good. Become involved. It's kind of like you gotta have that weekly meeting. You gotta have that association. It's like doing a Bible study. It's a financial uh, group that we get together and we talk about ways to improve we talk about how our gold and silver, what we're doing with it, the type of products we have, it's given a place to go on getaways. It's given a place that social, financial benefit. That's what you hone in that group. Your whole method of discussion and points are to that, unless they're already enormously financially set. And then it's just a matter, do they have gold and silver, and look at these fabulous, unique, exclusive products. Hopefully I went through the whole demographic group of what I do and what I try to teach by demonstration of people every time I'm talking to these groups. If you'll notice, that's the areas that I hone in. And sometimes, like in a business presentation and personal, we do a weekly meeting every week, and we have people in different demographics, but people in my group know that I handle our guests just like this, and I'll separate my questions and my discussions with them prior to the presentation and after the presentation, just like that, just like I just talked. Okay, so I just gave you your PhD course. Even though maybe some of you are just starting, some of you haven't made that first rung, but I addressed that in the first part of this. And when you get there, and if it takes you 3 to 5 years after your 2-year learning to get to that 6-figure income, that's the first gauge. Once you get those skills, attitudes, and techniques. Now, let me tell you, just being a member 2 years does not fulfill that requirement of that 10 hours a week. That you just was a member until you start that job description the way I teach. That's day one you entered Millionaires 1.0 class. You may have been a member for 3 years. You may have learned something here and there, and a piece here and a piece there, but you haven't started yet. That starts the day you make that commitment to yourself and to your sponsor or your team, your first team support leader that you're working with, your first one. Until you make that commitment of that 10 hours a week, you're going to do this system. That's when you start measuring how successful you're going to be in learning the skills, attitudes, and techniques, and then building a big business after that. And it's like I say all the time, even if you fail and you're only making $500 extra a month or a week, what would that do for you as you accumulate wealth with no risk? Oh, that applies across all these demographics. This is something we build with no risk. We just accumulate wealth in this process. So to summarize it across all four of them, that membership of Costco, 116 million, 116.7 million around the world. That's 11 billion a year. And people renew, or they don't get to go to Costco again. That's why Costco is such a financially solvent and great. They really just want to break even on their products they sell, or make a little profit on them. A little bitty tiny profit, net profit. That's all they care about. Well, 7K through metals gives us this same opportunity. Plus, we get to build a retirement future. We get to build security in our finances through silver and gold. And we get to earn extra income. We get to build a residual income. These are all the extra benefits that come with this membership. And then 7K pays you and me much of those membership fees back to us through that fabulous referral compensation plan. And since we're dealing with unique, exclusive products and they put points on those, that's how we develop a residual income. So when our team renews, those same points come up again. 7K takes their portion and gives back to all of you and me. It's not the person at the top that makes all the money. You cap out at your $12,500 a week. That's it. Where does it? Everything else flows over to everybody else. If you're not making what you're authorized to make and you got more points coming up there, that just flows over for everyone else in the future. What a fabulous retirement program. What a fabulous wealth building program. What a fabulous way to get 1099 tax benefits. What a fabulous way to integrate your entire family one by one. Sometimes the family sees it right off the bat, and that's cool. Sometimes it takes a while before they understand. But eventually they will. They're just looking at you. They're just looking at you. Okay. You know, I'm going to share my screen back one more time again, and make sure that put this up there. This you really want to get good at, or use other people's presentations of it, because this membership is just a force of good. That's that one page, but then you have the illustration, which I really like, the stair step, because that's where you want to set your goals. Once you achieve it, you are getting ready to achieve it, you want to set that next goal. You set achievable goals for you. Make sure you're gonna be ready. Don't just come in and say, okay, I'm gonna be presidential in a year. Well, I think that's great, but if you don't have the skills, attitudes, and techniques, I mean, that's just wishful thinking, to be honest with you. If you're not willing to put up that kind of work, why not set goals you can achieve? Even if you're achieving them rapid. What if you do this in your first day? If you get a business family pack, come back, congratulate yourself. You're doing the best thing because you're already an associate and you're in total control. And that's what I teach, is a business family pack. And then Wayne Clark got there real quick, duplicate my business family pack system. Okay. And that's what he was focused in on. Everybody else was buyers to him. Even if they came in at $4.99, they didn't get the business family. They were just a buyer. But see, copper, that's significant income. And even if you just make copper, who couldn't use an extra $1,000 a week on average for the rest of their life? If it took you 5 years to get to that level, what if it took you 10? What do you got to lose here? See, what you got to lose is not being able to achieve these things. That's what one has to lose. And of course, since I talked money and and what's happening in our group and what can happen for you, 7K proudly puts up their income disclosure statement for us to share because 85% of our members are customers. That's pretty cool. But the other 15%, you and I, look at the kind of incomes that we can make. I've got 3 presidential goals in my team. I've got 11 executive goals in my team on my left and right team. I I didn't personally sponsor only one of them, and that was the executive. Actually, I let my wife sponsor Wayne. I didn't even sponsor Wayne. My wife sponsored it because, see, we have a business family pact, and that's what we were working at. But in my teams, that's what I hadn't even counted all the golds and all the silvers and all the bronzes. But see, when you get that in your team, but I didn't do all that. I just got my 8 on my left and 8 on my right. Actually, it's 9 and 11, but I'm just getting myself set up so I'm going to rank up to president to executive goal and then presidential because I will be working on myself again in the very near future. I've already got that date set. So I already set a goal for myself to get back working. My wife asks me all the time, when are you going to work on you? And my sons ask me the same thing. But anyway, I hope you see what we see. I hope you understand what I'm trying to communicate to you because every one of you can be successful with 7K. It's just will you do it and will you follow a system that is proven to work and will you allow yourself those 2 years of learning skills, attitudes, and techniques and the right way? There is a right way. It is what you say. It is how you say it. But you got to learn those skills, and everyone can learn them. And I've seen that happen if you're willing to learn. I know that 7K is going to change your life through the power of silver and gold, God's money. And I wish each and every one of you the greatest success in in building a residual income base and a legacy income for not only yourself, but your children's children. Thank you, and may God bless each and every one of you.